Hello friends, let's discuss current affairs. Today's first questions on something that's about our external debt. India's external debt grew about a little over 8% to about $620 billion as at end March 2022. It is end June. There is an error there. It should be end June 2022 because end March it was $614 billion. I'm not using a pen and board today. So it is end June 2022. The external debt was $620 billion. Which of the following is part of the external debt? You could see that almost everything there is a part of the external debt of India. So what exactly is the external debt of India, and is this the money that the government of India owes to the world? I mean, is it that the government of India has borrowed this money? Well, not really. I'll tell you how this works. See, external debt is a total money owed by India, not just government of India, India. That would include a lot of things that I'm going to discuss now. Okay, so by India to the world. Now, how much do we owe? $620 billion. That's a tad under 20% of our GDP, which is not a worrying factor. So I'm going to give you some dope on this. Please write as much as you can. You could write this. First point, external debt to GDP ratio. External debt to GDP ratio. I'm also writing so that I have flow. External debt to GDP ratio, ED to GDP ratio, 19.9%. I'm also writing, okay guys, 19.9%. So this is the money that India owes the world, and this forms 20%, nearly 20%, 19.9% of India's GDP. So that's one. Two, short-term debt. Short-term debt. Short-term debt. What's short-term debt? You could write in brackets of less than 1 year maturity. Of less than 1 year maturity. (18.6%). 18.6%. So see, this short-term debt is the money that we have to pay within this financial year. Within this financial year, in the next 1 year or so. Now, thing you need to understand here is that it comprises two components: the interest on the old loans, and sometimes a principal becomes due this year. Okay, we might have borrowed last year, we might have borrowed 10 years back, but it's becoming due now. So it includes both the principal and interest. Fair? Number three. Now, what are the components of this? I mentioned that this is not the money the government of India owes, at least not the total money the government of India owes to the world outside. Yep, now Dharni, this is the world, this is the money owed by Indians, including the government of India. Okay, right. External commercial borrowings. External commercial borrowings. You look at choice here, commercial borrowings mentioned, you add before that external commercial borrowings dash money borrowed by or funds borrowed by Indian companies from outside India, from outside India dash $250 billion. $250 billion. Now, $250 billion of this 620 is, you could write within brackets, 40%. 40%. Let me finish and then I'll explain. 40%. Next, non-resident Indian deposits or NRI deposits. NRI deposits dash $159 billion. $159 billion. In brackets, about 26%. 26%. Next, government borrowings. Central, state, all. So it's called general government. Remember, general government includes central and state. Okay. general government borrowings or general government debt dash $120 billion. $120 billion. You can straight away make it not 20, 130, $130 billion. 130, 130 will make it $21 billion. 21%. I'm so sorry, guys. That's what I'm writing. Yeah. So general government borrowings $130 billion in brackets 21%. Now these are the major components. So this is not the money the government of India owes. The government of India owes, or general government owes only about $130 billion, which is about 21%. Okay. Now you look at this. 40% of this debt is what Indian companies had borrowed. The Indian companies had borrowed this money, so India has to repay this money. When I say India, I'm talking the companies that have borrowed money. Okay. So this is included in that. Now, you also look at the total, NRI deposits. So you have an uncle abroad, okay, who resides in America or somewhere in France. The guy looks at this way. In France or America, I would earn about 3% interest on my fixed deposit. But if I put the money in an Indian bank, I would earn a little more than that. So the money is sent home here, and the money is deposited in, let's say, in a local bank, State Bank of India NRI deposit, or HDFC Bank NRI deposit. There are names for these deposits. So money is deposited here. The person, your uncle, earns more money here, but this money has to be returned. So this money is considered a borrowing, a liability. That's why this is included. And total NRI deposits in India today are about $159 billion. $159 billion. Yeah. So money that is borrowed has to be repaid. In essence, companies have borrowed, they have to repay. Banks have attracted depositors from foreigners, Indians living abroad. But remember one thing, this is not what the banks asked. But this is voluntary. People, banks may solicit business, but ultimately people have to invest. So someone living abroad deposits money in an Indian bank, the money has to be returned. So it becomes a liability, an udhar. Okay. So you see that, right? It's a huge thing basically. Now, you may wonder, a lot of people in the newspapers and all this, oh my God, $620 billion is a lot of money. India is under debt and all that. Lot of the heavy burden of debt. Well, guys, please calm down. This is pretty little. 20% of India's GDP. We have a GDP of what? $3.5 trillion, $3,500 billion. And what is this external debt? 620. Pretty small number. And this is not what the government of India owes. Okay. Now, one more thing. You need to appreciate the fact that there are some countries which have, like Greece. It's a tiny country, but today its GDP is about, its total debt is about $480 billion against a GDP of $190 billion. So it's considerably high, 170, 180% of the GDP. If you look at America, its total debt is about $27 trillion. Their GDP is $25 trillion. So the debt is about 115 to 120% of their GDP. Okay. So there are a lot of countries like this which have a lot of debt, which have borrowed a lot of money. If you look at Japan, Japan is deeply indebted. बहुत उधार है. You may wonder, are those guys lend money to everyone? Yeah, but how come they are in debt? Well, that's another story. Okay, so this is what external debt is. It includes a lot of things that most people ignore. Now, I think I told you this story, but let me repeat this story. I was channel surfing and I found this movie starring the Tamil superstar Vijay. In that, he is worried about India's growing external debt, and he's like, my God, we have such a large debt. Then he sits in front of a computer like this is a laptop, yeah. So a computer like this, a laptop like this, and he makes a calculation. Total debt of India is so and so. Total population of India is so and so. Then he says, if we divide this total debt by total population, we get so and so. He gets a number, 4,000 rupees something. Then he says, if every Indian contributes 4,000 rupees and we repay the entire loan, India will be debt free. India will be debt free. So that's what it does. He seeks money from people. Trust me, this is a stupid idea. Okay, I'll tell you why. One, whose money are we repaying? If we repay like this, we will be repaying the loans borrowed by Indian companies. Should we repay that money? Two, Indian banks have deposits of NRIs. Should we repay that money? No. Why should we repay? Why should we repay? If Reliance Industries has borrowed money from some source abroad, it is Reliance Industries' duty to repay that loan. Why should you pay? Why should I pay? Yeah. So external commercial borrowings is included in the external debt. Okay, that is the reason why we should not repay. And is debt bad? Is Udhar taking a loan bad? Not at all. Not at all, my friends. Borrowing is never bad. In fact, borrowing is a good reason for for a bank to lend, to look at whether you're trustworthy or not. So you go to a bank. Let's say your uncle, you might have an uncle who says, look, I in my entire life have never borrowed money. Yeah. So if I want a loan, I can get a loan just like that. To an extent, I can tell you, your uncle won't get a loan because there is no credit history. Credit history is on loans. Yeah. See, let's say I go to a bank. Okay. If I go to a bank, no, I have a lot of credit cards. I'll show you something here. Now, I may have a credit card. People will tell you that, look, I don't have a credit card, so, it is good that I manage my own finances. No, no, no. A credit card is one way. And see, look, credit card, I use a bank's money. I don't have the money, let's say, but I'm using the bank's money, and on the due date, I repay the entire amount. Okay. So let's say I owe 1.5 lakh on credit card on the due date. Tomorrow is due date. So I repay the money to the bank. My debt is cleared. Now there is this credit information services companies, a lot of credit information companies. What they do is they look at, okay, Bharat has made all payments on time. So 100%. So his financial management skill is very good. Okay. Now the issue here is that they have something to look at, some proof. So if I go to a bank to borrow money, the bank will look at, okay, Bharat, he's asking for a loan. So they look at all the papers, my credit history and everything. And, they say, okay, he has made all the payments on time. So he is not risky. He is not a person that we can, who would default on our loan. You heard? So they have something to look at. Someone who has never borrowed, what will the company look at? What will the bank look at? There absolutely no reason. No reason. People who have never borrowed find difficulty in borrowing money from a bank. I'm not kidding. You check with the banker. Okay. So be careful. Okay. It's good to borrow, but make the payment on time. It's always on time. Because credit cards attract a lot of interest, and it's not a good idea. It's not a good idea to pay interest to someone. See, essentially, if I receive the statement today, let's say, from tomorrow, I can use this credit card and the bill will not come till 40 days after that. You got it? So I can use this card and use the bank's money for 40 days interest free. What better than that? But we should know how to use it well. This is very, very important. Very few people know how to use it well. Okay. So please don't worry too much about the external debt of India. We are cool. Fair? Look at this picture. It's a snake boat. It's a snake boat. The 68th edition of the prestigious Nehru Trophy boat race will be held at Punnamada. This lake is Punnamada Lake in Alappuzha district, near Alappi or Alappuzha, Kerala. Now, you could say central Kerala, almost central Kerala. This boat race is also called Vallam Kali. Vallam, Vallam, Vallam Kali, Kali. Vallam Kali. Now, this boat race takes place annually on an annual basis. Lot of teams come. These kinds of boats, you see this. This is what is called a snake boat. It's in Malayalam called Chundan Vallam. Chundan Vallam. I learned the pronunciation from my Malayali colleague. Okay, if I have still got it incorrect, forgive me for that. I try to learn. That's what I do. I always try to learn. Chundan Vallam. This boat snake, we call it snake boat, but they call it Chundan Vallam. Now, Vallam I think is boat, Chundan is snake. Each of these is about 30-35 meters long. This boat here, 30-35 meters long. Some are very long, okay, and some require paddlers. This, you see the people who are pushing the boat. They are called paddlers or oarsmen. Oar, O-A-A-R. उनके हाथ में जो पैडल देख रहे हैं आप, the wooden stick, that's called a paddle, P-A-D-D-L-E, paddle, or oar, O-A-R, oar. Okay. These people could number anywhere between 64 and 128. 64 and 128. It's a pretty crowded place. I mean, a lot of people go here, and I mean, it's very difficult to find a spot to. This is what my Malayali colleague told me. Find a spot to stand or observe the race from. So a lot of people watch this on TV. But someday I will go. I go to Kerala almost every year, and this is something I would love to watch. It will be fun, isn't it? Our culture is amazing. We have so many festivals. We have so many, rituals, traditions. I mean, this is fun. These kind of things are fun. Okay, so it was held in Punnamada. So I think we will not discuss this further. Who has claimed the Dutch Grand Prix 2022 for a second successive win for Red Bull in his home race? Home race, Dutch Grand Prix. So who among these belongs to the Netherlands? Yeah, it is Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen belongs to Netherlands. He was the defending champion. He had won this race in 2021. Again, this year he has won it. He has defended his title. Now, what you need to understand is the Red Bull is a team for which he races. It's called Red Bull Racing. The full name is Red Bull Racing, Red Bull Powertrains. Ignore it. Red Bull Racing. The energy drink Red Bull, same company sponsors it. Okay. Red Bull Racing team. So the number 2 guy and the guy who finished second was George Russell. You look at choice 1, George Russell there. He finished second. He belongs to Britain and he drives for Mercedes. He drives for Mercedes. Don't say Mercedes. Mercedes. Okay. In number 3, in the third place was Charles Leclerc. Charles Leclerc belongs to this tiny country of Monaco, M-O-N-A-C, Monaco, and he races for Ferrari. So all the top 3 belong to race for 3 different teams, and they belong to 3 different countries. I love Formula 1. You see the Formula 1 track. It is it is about 307 to 308 kilometers. Take 308 kilometers. So the track is 308 kilometers. So they may have to make about 50 laps or something like that. More than that, 57 laps sometimes. Yeah, it depends on the lap size, but typically the lap length is about 4 kilometers. So you could see that it's 58 laps. It's all fun. Please watch, learn. Okay. See, when you read about Charles Leclerc, you would find that Charles Leclerc, oh my God, he belongs to Monaco. And Monaco is the most densely populated country in the world. Why would we say that? The area of Monaco, which Monaco is a tiny country in the south of France, or just pretty close to the border with Italy. You see that this Monaco has an area of 2.1 square kilometers and its population is about 38,000 people. 38,000 people live on an area of 2.1 square kilometers. That would give it a density of about 19,000 people living in 1 square kilometer of area. which would make it the most densely populated place on earth, most densely populated country. Okay, yes, that's how you learn basically. Which city hosted the senior officers meeting of the Quad grouping, the first such meeting to be held since tensions with China over Taiwan? Well, New Delhi hosted this. See, Quad grouping, comprises four. Quad is four. So you have India, the United States, Japan, and Australia, four countries. But these days, something called Quad Plus has come in. Quad Plus has come in. What is Quad Plus? You could write this. Quad Plus. So you know the four countries in the Quad, okay? Then Quad Plus. The Quad Plus comprises South Korea, Vietnam, I repeat, South Korea, Vietnam, 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 and New Zealand. All of these countries are worried about the growing presence of China in the Pacific region. So you have Canberra, New Delhi, New York, Tokyo, Beijing. Canberra, as you know, is the capital of what is this place? Australia. It's the capital of Australia, and Canberra has a nickname, Bush City. Bush means jungle. Bush City, B-U-S-H, Bush City. Okay. What is a nickname of Beijing? Forbidden City. Forbidden. F-O-R-B-I-D-D-E-N. Forbidden. Something that's not allowed. Forbidden City. The United States recently announced the hosting of the first ever US Pacific Island Countries Summit in the last week of this month, which are the following is our Pacific Islands. All of them are Pacific Islands. All I will do, see in the later part of this class, there is a full map of the Oceania region. Oceania is Australia, New Zealand, and all those tiny islands. So I'm going to introduce you to those countries a little later. So some of these countries I can write here. Somehow you could write the capitals of these places. Please write the capitals. Choice A, Apia, A-P-I-A, Apia, A-P-I-A. Okay. Then choices like Tuvalu. Tuvalu's capital is Funafuti, F-U-N-A-F-U-T-I, Funafuti. Okay, Funafuti. Then we have Solomon Islands. They are all pretty close to each other. Yeah. Solomon Islands, the capital is what is this place? Honiara, H-O-N-I-A-R-A. I repeat, H-O-N-I-A-R-A, Honiara. Look at choice D, Kiribati. Its islands are spread across 4 hemispheres. Some of it on the other side of the eastern, what is called international date line. So eastern hemisphere, western hemisphere, one above in the northern hemisphere, above the equator, one below the equator. Yeah. So it's a country it's the only country in the world that is spread across 4 hemispheres: east, south, north, west. Yeah. So anyway, Kiribati, the capital is South Tarawa. South, S-O-U-T-H, South. Tarawa, T-A-R-A-W-A, Tarawa. South Tarawa. Last one, Marshall Islands. Majuro, M-A-J-U-R-O, Majuro. Okay, Majuro. Now, why would US have this US Pacific Island Summit? Because China, my friends, has come in and has established pretty good relationship with all these countries. So the Americans, which have traditionally neglected this area, are now jumping in. Yeah, with offers of aid, with offers, generous offers of interest-free loans and all that. Yeah, let us see how this works out, because a lot of countries are not happy with the US. With an aim to support startups in manufacturing and sustainability related sectors, which in Indian state has launched a global startup challenge named Venturize. Venturize Karnataka. There's hardly anything for me to discuss, but India has a little over 74,000 startups, and the highest number are in IT. 11 in the technology space, there are 11,000 startups, while education has about 9,000 startups. Healthcare about 5,500 startups. Yeah. As part of the International Counter Ransomware Initiative Resilience Working Group, which two countries have successfully designed and conducted the cyber security exercise for 26 countries. Now you need to understand something here. Ransomware is kind of malicious, attack on a computer network, wherein they kind of deny access to the legitimate owners of the system of the computer network. So unless some money is paid, ransom is paid, they won't allow access. They say that we will seal this data and we'll put it on the web and all those kind of threats. So to counter this kind of thing, the government of India and the British government have launched a cyber security exercise, and we are going to help a lot of countries, in managing their primarily electricity distribution systems. So this year, what these two countries did was they focused on the energy sector. And they came up with certain, what we say, systemic solutions for dealing with multiple attacks on multiple electricity distribution networks companies. Attacks on multiple electricity distribution companies were to be tackled, and they were tackled by the expert groups of both the countries. Now, on India's side, we had the National Security Council Secretariat leading the delegation, leading the entire team. India is a global power in cyber studies, cyber security. Our security systems are among the best in the world. That's why a lot of countries come to India for designing these solutions. Okay. Now, why did they focus on energy sector? See, there is an increasing fear that China might, and this is the most important thing, okay? China might attack the electricity grid systems in European nations, in in the US and India, which all are considered as enemies by China, by Beijing. So, what if the Chinese launch a ransomware attack on these things? Denial of access, denial of service access to the company owners or the system owners. So, in such case, how do we deal with it? It's mentioned. I think there is this Hollywood movie called Die Hard 4 something, in which there is a story built around this idea that the Chinese or some anti-America actors means players, could attack the electricity grid in America. And if the electricity grid fails, everything fails, isn't it? Yeah, electricity powers everything around. India's first international COVID vaccine, BBV154, has been approved for restricted use in emergency situations among people aged above 18 years. This vaccine has been developed by Bharat Biotech. Bharat Biotech and Biological E choice. Sorry, in fact, you look at Dr. Reddy's also. Dr. Reddy's Biological E is Evans, 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 but they don't use this Evans, they simply go with E. Biological Evans, Bharat Biotech, and Dr. Reddy's are all based in Hyderabad, my city. So if you look at this CEOs, Bharat Biotech, it's Krishna Ella, ELLA. This time I think they were given the Padma Shri Award. Bharat Biotech, Krishna Ella. You look at Biological E. Mahima Datla. Mahima Datla. 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 Dr. Reddy's. The CEO is Iraz. ERAZ. I repeat, ERAZ. Iraz. Israeli. ISRAELI. Iraz Israeli. Look at choice C. Oh, sorry, 3. Zydus Cadila. Zydus Cadila is run by Sahil Manchanda. Sahil, SAHIL. Sahil Manchanda. 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 Sahil Manchanda. Choice E. Serum Institute of India. Serum Institute of India. Serum Institute of India is headed by Adar Poonawalla. ADAR. Adar Poonawalla. Poonawalla. POONAWALA. Poonawalla. This company is the world's biggest maker of vaccines. World's biggest maker of vaccines. The 61st edition of the Subrata Cup International Football Tournament. I mentioned it, yeah. It's actually a football tournament. Okay. It's named after a former Air Force chief named Subrata Mukherjee. Subrata Mukherjee. And this is for schools, inter-school. It's for inter-school. There's pretty little to discuss, so let's skip this. Which of the following is not a part of the scheduled banking structure in India? So 3-4 static questions now. Moneylenders, informal, unorganized banking sector, not money banking sector, money market basically. Okay, unorganized, financial market is where money lenders fit in. Public sector, private sector, regional, rural banks, state cooperative banks, your small finance banks, payments banks, all of these come under the scheduled organized banking structure. Scheduled organized banking structure. Distribution of insurance products and insurance policies by banks as corporate agents of insurance companies is known as bank assurance. When there are some banks which act as agents of insurance companies, they are not like one person, one neighborhood uncle comes to your dad and says, "Arey, please buy this policy, it's good for you," and all that. Okay, here that doesn't work. What is happening here is the bank acts as an agent. Bank sells insurance to its customers, usually to its customers. That's right, bank assurance. Bank assurance. What about these functions not being performed? One of these functions not being performed by the RBI. See, regulation of foreign direct investment is the job of mainly the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. Ministry of Commerce and Industry. You could write this: Ministry of Commerce and Industry. Some part is managed, some portions are also regulated by the Ministry of Finance, but it is usually the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. The rest are all functions of the RBI. Not much to discuss. In which of the following, again now we go back to current affairs. In which of the following areas have India and Bangladesh recently signed agreements? All of them. So India and Bangladesh signed 7 agreements. 7. Okay. I'll tell you where. One, sharing of water resources over Kushiara River. Kushiara. Kushi. I repeat, Kushiara. Kushiara River. Okay. So one is water. Second is railways. Now under railways, India has agreed to train Bangladeshi railway personnel employees to become better, that is for better training, better performance. So we're going to train those guys, and at the same time we are also going to train them in IT systems, operationalizing IT systems. So we are going to have a collaboration with Bangladesh for training in of Bangladeshi railway personnel plus in IT systems, railway IT systems. Science and technology, we are looking at beefing up cooperation through our CSIR. Yeah. Space technology also, we are looking at spreading. It's not that Bangladesh does not. Bangladesh is not a superpower in space. It is not actually, but they do require use of space technology to better, their agriculture sector, their fishing sector, because Bangladesh is a predominantly agrarian and fishing society. Okay, and one more thing, space technology, yeah, fine. We have had an agreement in broadcasting, Prasar Bharati and their local agency. Okay, then we have had okay, enough of agreements. Let me bring in two plants were inaugurated, two infrastructure plants. One, Maitri Power Plant, Unit 1, or you could simply write Maitri Power Plant, Maitree, Maitri Power Plant at Rampal, and second, and Rupsha, RUPSHA. I repeat, RUPSHA, Rupsha Rail Bridge, Rupsha Rail Bridge. So to a large extent, these have been built by India. Okay, money and everything has come from India. Liz Truss is the new Prime Minister of Britain. Mary Elizabeth Truss is the new Prime Minister of Britain. Now, she is the last Prime Minister under Queen Elizabeth II, who died recently. Under Queen Elizabeth II, there have been 14 Prime Ministers, 14 or 15, 14 Prime Ministers, and she was the last. Okay, number 2. And who was the first Prime Minister under Queen Elizabeth II? Winston Churchill. She's the last Prime Minister under Queen Elizabeth II, and the first Prime Minister under Charles III, King Charles III. Okay, yeah. King Charles III. Let me tell you something more here. She's also the co-author. Plenty of guys wrote this, so it's more of a compilation. It is Britain Unchained, or Britannia Unchained. Yeah, that's the title. Britannia Unchained, UNCHAINED, Unchained. Britannia Unchained. What about the prime ministers of these countries here? Israel, Yair Lapid, YAIR. I repeat, YAIR. Yair Lapid, LAPID. Next, Poland. Poland's prime minister is the head of the government there, right? Mateusz Morawiecki. I'll spell it. I repeat, MATEUSZ. I repeat, MATEUSZ. Mateusz Morawiecki. 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 Bulgaria. The capital is, the prime minister is Galab, GALAB. I repeat, GALAB. Galab Donev, DONEV. That's the prime minister. Galab Donev. Latvia. Krisjanis Karins. KrisJanis, KRISJANIS. Krisjanis Karins, Karins, Kris Janis Karins. Okay, yeah. That's about it, guys. Which Indian state government was conferred with the International Travel Award 2023 for Best Destination for Culture? West Bengal. Yeah, the land of Rasgulla. It's an amazing place, especially the cuisine. Yeah, West Bengal. How does it promote tourism? See, it promotes tourism with this tagline, "The sweetest part of India." Nice, actually. The sweetest part of India. It invites you to come to the sweetest part of India, West Bengal. What is Indian government's tourism tagline? Incredible India. It's called tagline or punchline. Incredible India. Then Rajasthan. The incredible state of incredible India. The incredible state of incredible India. The incredible state of incredible India. Some places you will also find this tagline like "Jaane kya dikh jaye." Jaane kya dikh jaye. Yeah. Then Maharashtra. One word. Unlimited. What is it? Unlimited. Beautiful place, Maharashtra. Unlimited. Odisha. The soul, S-O-U-L, the soul of incredible India. The soul of incredible India. The soul of incredible India. How does Madhya Pradesh promote itself? Yeah. The heart of incredible India. The heart of incredible India. Cred is belief. So unbelievable India it is. Yeah, so much to explore, so much to look around, see around. See, India received in 2019, if you go by that, we received 17 million tourists. My data comes from the World Tourism Organization. 17 million, that is 1.7 crore. In the period that we received 1.7 crore tourists, foreign tourists, that is tourists from outside India, France received 19 million, 9 crore. Yes, 9 crore in France, 1.7 crore in India. And France is a much smaller country compared with India. Yeah, much smaller compared with India. If you look at second place, Spain. Spain received 8.3 crore foreign visitors. America in the third place, 8 crore. Imagine the money that could be earned from 9 crore foreign tourists. Think about it. Think about what it can do to our tourist guides, what quality of life it can change. See, the problem with India is that only I travel a lot, so I can tell you from my personal experience, unless you pay good money, you don't get good hotels, okay, which is universal case of goods. But here, there is a vast discrepancy between five-star hotels and the other hotels. Now, majorly, hotel infrastructure is poor. Foreigners, not all foreigners are rich, but they would like to spend to go around. So they would like to minimize their costs on hotel stay and everything. So if they want to spend less, there are not many good budget hotels. The laundry is dirty, the beds are dirty, yeah, toilets are dirty, and I'm not kidding, okay. So this is one major issue. Number two is safety. We don't treat foreigners quite well. Yeah. As someone who's gone around the country, I can tell you we do not treat foreigners well. We always would keep an eye out on how do we make the most out there, how do we make more money from this person. That's a sad part. That's a really sad part. Yeah. So at the same time, safety of money, safety of women is a major issue. You see, day in day out, there are reports of foreigners being, foreign women being molested, being attacked. Yeah, for just being what, women. Yeah, unfortunately. Then there is this serious discrimination I found elsewhere, everywhere in India. Like we charge foreigners quite differently. We charge a different fee for foreigners for entry to the same place. You and I are Indians. Okay, we want to say I was in Mahabalipuram sometime back. In Mahabalipuram, I found one board. You know, entry to a particular place. It says Indians 50 rupees, foreigners 250 rupees. What is this? What kind of discrimination is that? In fact, I strongly believe, you don't have to agree with me, I believe that Indians should welcome foreigners into these places free of charge. There is someone has come from abroad to look at our culture, to go around and have a look at our great culture. And we say, no, you got to pay 5 times as much as the Indian does. That's really bad. Why should a foreigner pay more? Yeah, in fact, we should charge them less. If not outright free, we should charge them less or at least the same amount as an Indian pays. Isn't it? And I also found one more thing. Temples, some religious places in India, especially in South India, they write boards. I was in Trichy, I think. And they see, this is nothing personal here. I'm just telling you my observations, okay? We need to improve, my friends, because if foreigners come, we make money. When country makes money, millions of tourists come in, guides make money, hotels make money, cabbies make money, rickshawalas make money, the food restaurants make money. Think about all that. Money, it's all money, my friends. Yeah. So, this temple I found, foreigners not allowed beyond this point. Why shouldn't a foreigner be allowed? How is a foreigner different from, say, an Indian who has traveled? A lot of Indians go abroad. A lot of Indians eat meat. It's not that foreigners don't eat meat. Foreigners eat meat and Indians don't eat meat. The foreigners live abroad and Indians have never ventured beyond the coast. I think this is where we are lacking. And I think somewhere down the line, our tourists, our tourism infrastructure, overall attitudes plus physical infrastructure has to change. Yeah. Hopefully things work, my friends, and we can go further up the scale, which has become the first public sector bank to go live on the new direct tax collection system, TIN. Yeah, Tax Information Network 2.0. Bank of India. So there's hardly anything to discuss, but the Bank of India, this TIN platform or direct tax collection platform system, this is a platform through which companies can pay, it's a one-stop solution kind of thing. It's an official website of the IT department. It's a single window for all tax related issues like filing returns plus tax payment. You don't have to go elsewhere to pay a tax. File a return here, you do go to another website to make a payment. No, you can pay payment here, tax payment here, you can file a return here. So it's a pretty sophisticated system, and Bank of India has become the first one to go live on this system. Yeah. So Pallav Mohapatra, if I'm not wrong, is the CEO of this company. Pallav Mohapatra, I think, yes, it's Pallav Mohapatra. I'll correct myself if I am incorrect, and please correct me if I'm wrong. My job is to learn, whether it's you or someone else or my own self. Yeah, all I focus is on learning. Yeah, Pallav Mohapatra. Bank of Maharashtra, A.S. Rajiv is the chairman. A.S. Rajiv is the CEO. Canara Bank, Lingam Venkata Prabhakar, L.V. Prabhakar. Bank of Baroda, Sanjeev Chadda. State Bank of India, Dinesh Khara. Which former head of a country won the Best Narrator Emmy Award for his Netflix documentary series, Our Great National Parks? Barack Obama. If you have not watched this series yet, please watch it today. Fabulous series. In fact, I watched it the day it was released on Netflix. And there are about 5 episodes, if I'm not wrong. One focusing on America, one part of Northern America. Then there is one thing on in Indonesia. The last episode was in Indonesia, the equatorial forest there. Then one on there is this what is this Chilean Patagonia. Fabulous episode. You will thoroughly enjoy this episode. Yeah, watch, learn. There's so much to learn, and you will find in this Indonesian episode, if I'm not wrong, the dancing of birds. How a particular bird dances to attract a mate. So it is a very, very good episode, and it's made much more interesting because of the baritone of the deep voice of Barack Obama. Yeah. Who are these guys? Theresa May, ex-PM Britain. Donald Trump, ex-president. What's his name? US. Yeah, the name. Donald Trump is ex-president of US. Boris Johnson, like May, is a former Prime Minister of Britain. Frank Walter Steinmeier, choice 5 is relevant. President of Germany. President of Germany. Yeah. Who will lead an official and business delegation to Italy to attend the Gastech Milan 2022, the world's largest gathering focused on liquefied natural gas. Yeah, liquefied natural gas, LNG. Or liquid natural gas. Hardeep Singh Puri. Why Hardeep Singh Puri? You could write his name and write the 2 ministries he holds. One, Petroleum and Natural Gas. Union Minister for Petroleum and Natural Gas. Union Minister for Petroleum and Natural Gas. Number 2, Housing and Urban Affairs. Housing and Urban Affairs. Housing and Urban Affairs. Number 2. Look at choices here. Choice 5. We will start from the bottom. Mahendranath Pandey. Mahendranath Pandey. We are talking of the cabinet ministers, union ministers, okay? Heavy industries. Union Minister for Heavy Industries. Heavy industries. Heavy industries. What about choice 4? Purushottam Rupala. Purushottam Rupala. He is a union minister for fisheries. I repeat, fisheries, comma, animal husbandry. Fisheries, comma, animal husbandry. Right? Animal. Write the word husband. Yeah. RY. Animal husbandry and dairying. 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 Next. Pashupati Kumar Paras. Yes. Pashupati Kumar Paras is a union minister for food processing industries. Food processing industries. Food processing industries. Next. Look at choice 1. Rajkumar Singh. He heads 2 ministries. One, Power, POWER, Power. And the second one is related to the first one. New and renewable energies. New and renewable energy. New and renewable energy. So we took the names of all the 5 ministries. Next. The ISRO, the Indian Space Research Organization, successfully tested a new technology named IAD, which will be used for landing payloads on Mars or Venus in the future. IAD stands for, okay, there it's mentioned. Decelerator means it will from the spacecraft, the payload will be released, attached to the payload will be this particular thing, IAD, inflatable aerodynamic decelerator, what it would do is it will slow down the descent, the climbing, the coming down of the payload. So the payload won't fall all of a sudden and sometimes break on impact. That's what happens to the Vikram lander on Mars. Oh, sorry, on the moon. Yeah. So, learning from our mistakes. Name the mascot launched by the Union Home Minister Amit Shah for the 36th National Games in Ahmedabad. Savage. That's savage. Savage means cub. CUB. Cub means the young of a lion. Young of a lion. You see that logo there? Or if you want to write a little bit about the 36 National Games in Gujarat, you could write this. 36 National Games, Gujarat. 36 National Games. Underline that. First one. Host. Gujarat State. In Gujarat, there will be Rajkot, Ahmedabad, Surat, Bhavnagar, Porbandar. A lot of these places will be, will be the venues, not just Ahmedabad. Fair. Then right, Motto, MOTTO, Motto. Motto is mentioned here, just below the word Gujarat. Celebrating unity through sports. Next, mascot, MASCOT, mascot. You could write that Savage, SAVAJ, in brackets. Gujarati for cub, CUB, cub. Yeah, young of a lion. Next. Logo, LOGO, that's the logo. You see in the picture there, logo. Asiatic lion head. Makeup of sporting pictograms. Sporting pictogram, 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 sporting pictograms, and statue of unity. You see this now? Let me decode this. This is a lion head. Yeah. You see this? Sports persons. Yeah. Swimming. Yeah. Hockey. Athletics. You have all kinds of things. Is this? Yeah. So gymnasts and all. You see the Statue of Liberty? Yes. Amazing. Nice design actually. Isn't it? Yeah. That's a picture of Oceania. With South Pacific nation did INS, Indian Naval Ship Satpura, visit as part of its operational deployment in the Pacific Ocean? It came to Fiji. It went to Fiji rather. Yeah, you see this. This is Fiji. You see this here? This is Fiji. Small island, these two, Fiji. Now, you have Fiji, Papua New Guinea. This is Papua New Guinea. You see where my cursor is. You see this entire thing in green. You see this line here. East of this line is the country of Papua New Guinea. This one, Papua New Guinea. Papua New Guinea is the eastern part of the island of New Guinea. Fair? The western part is Indonesia. This is all Indonesia. Now, Papua New Guinea has a capital. You could write the capitals of these places. Where? Capital, Port Moresby, Port, P-O-R-T, Port Moresby, M-O-R-E-S-B-Y, M-O-R-E-S-B-Y, Moresby, Port Moresby, Port Moresby. I'm fascinated with all these kinds of things, maps and all. Then Tonga, you see this Tonga here? cursor is going elsewhere. Yeah, this is Tonga. They are so small, even on a local map also they are not visible. Yeah, Tonga. You write Tonga. The capital is Nuku'alofa. N-U-K-U, I repeat, Nukualofa. A-L-O-F-A. Nuku'alofa. You see this, recently there was a massive underwater volcanic eruption. This happened in Tonga. Okay. Then Solomon Islands. You see choices, Solomon Islands. These are Solomon Islands here. Very tiny group of islands. Okay. This entire stretch. Yeah. Solomon Islands. The capital is, I'm sorry, Honiara. H-O-N-I-A-R-A. Honiara. The capital is Honiara. Let me use another pair. Yeah. Honiara. I think I mentioned this a while ago. So, Honiara. Paper is full. Then Tuvalu. T-U-V-A-L-U. I wanted to show you Tuvalu. This is Tuvalu. Yeah, tiny place. Its area is about 12,000 square kilometers something. Yeah, if I'm not wrong. So, but just before we go there, Funafati or Funafuti. Funafuti is the capital of Tuvalu. Funafuti. F-U-N-A-F-U-T-I. Funafuti. I want you to become familiar with this. See this Papua New Guinea and Solomon Islands, even today, like Australia and New Zealand, they have the same British monarch as the head of their country. See, the British monarch is the head of 14 countries outside Britain. Okay? You have 4 countries here. One is Australia. The British monarch is the head of Australia. The head of Australia is also the head of the state of New Zealand. So New Zealand, Australia, Papua New Guinea, Solomon Islands have the British monarch as the head of their own country. Okay, next. If you look at Antigua and Barbuda, Saint Kitts and Nevis, Grenada, you have these 3. You have this place called Belize in Central America. You have Canada. All these have British monarch. Yes. Yeah. There's a lot to learn, guys. We need to work hard to learn. Like, for example, what is INS Satpura? INS Satpura is a stealth frigate. Stealth frigate. I mean, you look at this. It's equipped with a lot of weaponry and everything. Yeah. Sad thing here. Industrialist Cyrus Mistry died in a road accident recently. Which of the following statements regarding him are true? All of them are true. He was a chairperson of Tata Sons from 2012 to 2016. See, Tata Sons is a parent company of the Tata Group. It's what is called a holding company, umbrella company. It itself does not manufacture anything, provide any service, but it owns Tata Group. 2/3 of the shareholders, more than 2/3 of the shares are owned by trusts, charitable trusts, which are headed by Ratan Tata. Okay. Now, the biggest individual shareholder of Tata Sons was Pallonji Mistry. Pallonji Mistry owns 18% shares, 18.4% shares of Tata Sons. Fair. Now, I want you to know one more thing. Pallonji Mistry had 2 sons. One, Shapur Mistry or Shapur Pallonji, and 2, Cyrus Mistry. So Shapur Mistry and Cyrus Mistry. Unfortunately, Cyrus died recently in a road accident, while the Shapurji Pallonji group is run by Shapur Mistry. Yeah. For the Mistry family, it's been a double tragedy because a couple of months before Cyrus passed away. Pallonji Mistry passed away. Yeah. So this is how things are today. The Shapur Pallonji Group is a mega real estate company, mega construction company. It has built the Taj Mahal Hotel, RBI head office, Stand Chartered building, the Sultan of Oman's palace. It built, it's building the secretariat in Hyderabad, the Telangana secretariat in Hyderabad. So it's a very, very famous. In fact, if I'm not wrong, the BITS Hyderabad campus is built by these guys. Yeah. So that's about it. Thanks for being here, guys. Have a lot of fun. Thanks again from me, Bharat C. Jain. Stay curious. Thank you.